super excited today. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Kristen Algren, and I am tuning in from Kailua, Hawaii. I just rank advanced to Pro 7 in May, so I'm super excited that that happened for my team and, everyone on this call, actually. I believe that the sideline support is so essential as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm so excited for our guest today. However, before we get to him, we're going to keep going. If you guys wouldn't mind muting yourselves when you jump on. Thank you. I am going to have my sister, Katie Dye, go ahead with our Success Leaves Clues, which is basically people are talking about what they are doing with their income that they're getting from LifeVantage. And I know you guys heard from myself and my sister on Heart to Heart this last Wednesday, but she only talked about the science. So I want you guys to hear how LifeVantage has radically shifted her life. And without it, she could have been in some trouble financially. So without further ado, Katie, why don't you go ahead and share your story?
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, everybody. So I have always been a big saver. Like anytime I make money, if I have extra, I save it. It's just what I've always done. I used to have coin jars in my room and I would like count it and all this stuff. And so I always knew that I liked money and I'm not a big spender. So I like to save money. With that, my husband and I, prior to LifeVantage, basically lived hand to mouth. So we were saving nothing. We actually had no savings. So what do I do with my LifeVantage money? I actually have been saving it. And I kind of was like, I'm just going to save it for a rainy day. Like whether it's going to be to work on our house, whether it's going to be to take a $10,000 trip around the world. I don't know, whatever it was. I just didn't know what it was going to be for. But in the last few months since COVID, I have another job, but basically my other profession, my managing of vacation rentals completely stopped. So I had absolutely no money coming in. And I know I said that on the Heart to Heart. So what have I been doing with my LifeVantage money? I have been spending it on living again. So, without it, I would have had absolutely no money coming in. So I'm so grateful that I dug that well and I saved the money and I'm able to contribute to the family. And I've actually used it also for a couple of staycations here on the island. So instead of traveling this summer, I rented a house on the North Shore for 10 nights and did it again a second time for 4 nights with some friends. So it's been fun to know that, I have some money in the bank for when I really, really needed it, which was right now, but that I can also use it for some fun money too. So super grateful, super grateful that I have it. And that's it. Anything else you want me to share?
Oh, no, that's it. Thank you. And thank you for saying yes, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have said yes. And one thing that I want to mention is that I have the blessing of the balance. And my sister, she's not a Pro 7 yet. She will be, but her paycheck is very legit. So we just want to let you guys know that, so much is possible with this business with putting one foot in front of the other. And we like to share these stories because we like to show that it's real. And what is happening is absolutely real with my sister and I and our families. So now I'm going to introduce an amazing man. You guys, this guy, I met him at the Pro 5 Summit last year. It's actually been about a year and a half. And this guy, he walks in the room and the room lights up. He's just one of those guys. He's got magnetic energy. He's super positive. And he grew up that way because he's a third generation network marketing family. So his grandparents were network marketers, and his father, for those of you who are new, is the Worre, who is a network marketing guru. And if you guys haven't read his book or listened to the audio series Go Pro, please get that. So this is how he grew up. So he's been in the industry now his entire life. And before we get into the training a little bit, there's one question that I really want to ask you, and we all want to know because I did a little background research on you, Taylor, and it looks like you were, there were about a dozen other network marketing companies that wanted you to work for them, and you chose LifeVantage. So I would love for you to start with that. Why? Just a couple, couple minutes on why you chose LifeVantage, and then we can get into the training. And for those of you that missed the beginning of what Taylor shared, he's going to be, you can write in the comments if you haven't already. Basically, he's going to be talking about and working with one or two people on what is your number one excuse? Like, what is holding you back? So if you haven't written that in the comments and would like to, please do so. And thank you guys all for hopping on. I'm just so grateful. So with that, Taylor, I would just love to pass it over to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone joining. Hope you're having a beautiful Monday wherever you are around this amazing globe. But I am excited to spend about 30 minutes with you here chatting. We're going to go through a lot of stuff, but I can touch that quickly. Know that if you want a detailed version of why I chose LifeVantage, I'm pretty sure you can find those videos on YouTube. I've done a lot of trainings where that has been the main topic. So you can definitely find that. But honestly, you guys, for me, yes, there was about 20 companies that I met with before I chose LifeVantage. There was quite a few different places I went and looked. And because of the Worre name and the fact that I've put 15 years into this space now on a professional level, Jim Rohn would always say, thank you for that round of applause. I deserve it. And I think that there's something that is to be said for being, not having no ego, but understanding the value that you bring to the space and the time that you put into the space. And so for me, there was 5 things. And if you're ever looking for a company, you found it, in my opinion. But if you're ever in the position in another place in your life where you're looking for it, or if you yourself are looking for the best way to explain to someone why LifeVantage is just better, for me as a professional network marketer, there are 5 things. And I'm on the corporate side of this business. So understand that just because you're on the corporate side of the distributor side, I still consider myself a professional network marketer. The reality is 5 things. Number 1 was product strength. I could not be a part of a company without, and for me, it was mainly about the Me Too movement of kind of the 2000s and beyond, whether it was CBD or keto, which is kind of just the Atkins diet of the 90s, or you've got all these different supplements. And what I really loved about LifeVantage is their products were activators. While they fall into a supplement category, they are far superior, in my opinion, and far more beneficial to the everyday person over a supplement. Why not activate your body to create something when you could, as opposed to supplementing? Sorry, I have a giant German Shepherd that is in the background. You're going to hear him for just a second because we've got neighbors walking by. And God bless, his bark color is none. But all that to say is product strength. I love the fact that LifeVantage had 30 published medical studies on PubMed.gov validating these products. That was a big deal for me. And beyond that, the 9 patents, 7 domestic, 2 international patents that protected these products, that was a big deal for me as well. The fact that LifeVantage didn't get lazy over time with their product offering, the fact that over time they came out with award-winning product after award-winning product, that most companies come out with some amazing product and then all of a sudden it's, kind of just this lazy product offering that comes afterwards. With LifeVantage, you have an award-winning hair care system. You have a skincare system that works on 43 different collagen levels on the skin. You've got, 3 different now tier 1 flagship products with the entire Protandim family, with Protandim NRF2, NRF1, and NAD Synergizer. And the statements that you can make about these products that are compliant are unbelievable. So product strength was a big one for me. The next 4 I'm going to go through quick because I don't want to take up too much time. But corporate structure, a company that had some solid corporate structure. I don't care how good everything else is. If you don't have a good corporate team that's put in place to take the company into the future, you don't have a place in the future. So I love the fact that between the top 20 executives, there was over 400 years of combined network marketing experience. These guys have dedicated their lives to this space. That was a big deal for me. Then beyond that, the next thing I looked at was field culture. To have a company that was so wrapped in a servant leadership, philanthropic field culture, that was a big deal for me. In a space that for the last 15 years has been plagued by materialism, been plagued by egocentrism, by all these different things. to find a company that is embracing and embodying everything that I believe the future generations genuinely care about, which in all of my talks I talk about, we are entering into the age of experientialism, a status defined by experience, not defined by things. And I love the fact that LifeVantage wraps around this age of experientialism, that we want you to experience life to the fullest. That it's not about what you die with, it's about how many people's lives that you impact. And that's what our field embodies to the fullest. That is a big deal for me. The last two things were opportunity and timing. I needed a company with serious opportunity for everyone to win, the brand new network marketer, as well as the seasoned veteran. I needed to know that there was people winning. And for me, all you have to do is look at the top 10 income earners in the company. Amongst the top 10 income earners, you'll see that two, I think, or maybe three of them now, of the top 10 income earners in the company have only been with the company for 4.5 years. So you can see that this isn't a company, while we are 11 years old, you didn't have to be involved 11 years ago to be successful at the levels, at the top levels of the company. And then timing. I thought that when I joined the company, it was the best timing it could have ever been 2.5 years ago. I mean, the stock was trading at $2.80 a share. I mean, the company had the biggest record growth year in company history 2 years ago. Last year, we just finished our last fiscal year. In June 30th was the end of our fiscal, and another record year, great year for us as a company. But I think that we're just getting started. I mean, I look at what we're in right now. I look at the fact that there are just in the United States, I mean, tens of millions of Americans that are fighting for unemployment right now, all trying to grab from a bucket that's running out. I know that the average American 90% of Americans don't have more than $500 in their savings account. I know that from every generation, from baby boomer to Gen X to millennial to Gen Z, every generation is doubling in the entrepreneurship interest. So if you went back to the baby boomers were 7% open to an entrepreneurial based opportunity, factually. You take that to the Gen X generation, one generation later, 15% open to an entrepreneurial based opportunity. These are real numbers. Then you take that to the millennial generation, 30 to 50% open to an entrepreneurial based opportunity. Then you take that to the Gen Z. The Gen Z is the youngest generation that we have, that we can account for right now. And they are up to 80% open to an entrepreneurial based opportunity. So the pendulum is shifting back to this place of entrepreneurialism, which our country was founded upon. And we're getting back there. So I don't believe that there could be a better time ever to be getting involved than if you're getting involved right now, or choosing to take this serious right now for that. So with all that being said, I mean, I love everyone on this call. I love LifeVantage dearly, but I tell you with complete and utter certainty, if I believed in my core that there was a place that was doing things better, with better products, with a better corporate staff, with more opportunity, with better timing, with a better field culture, I would be there right now. And so I believe that where we are right now is with the best company in the best form of entrepreneurship, which is network marketing on the planet. And so it's really just an exciting time to be alive. But with all that being said, I want to jump into hopefully breaking through some barriers tonight. That's what I told Krista. I said, look, I can give you a boilerplate message about personal development, and we can talk about, all the books and all the things, but I want to get to some real stuff. And so I saw, I'm going to probably say it wrong, but Sarah Redican, is that how you say your last name? Take yourself off mute. What's up? Aloha, sister. How are you?
Aloha.
Good to see you. It's going great. How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
Did I have the fastest first? Is that why?
You had the fastest response. You were number one on the list. I love it. So let's get real. Let's get raw. I want to be authentic. And if you sugarcoat this, I'm going to know, and I'm going to ask you to go deeper. So let's be real. I want you to tell me straight up, if you believe that I was a magic genie right now and came and could take away one excuse that's not causing you to not have the success that you believe, what would that one thing be?
I would say fear of failure and rejection.
Fear of failure and rejection. So what is it about that messes with you so much?
I think feeling like I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or it's not an approvable enough thing. Like, it's not real. Nobody's going to believe in it or believe in me. What if I fail? The job I currently have as a teacher is super secure. I have tenure. I have health insurance. I have all these things. I'm really, really good at it. Everyone gives me, lots of credit for it. I know that I have that in the bag, but this is network marketing. Who the fuck does network marketing?
Exactly. I hear you.
Sorry. Oh my God.
It's all right. Any children on the call, just earmuffs.
Just looking
Earmuffs for any children. But no, I totally hear it. So do me a favor, Sarah, throw yourself back on mute just in case there's any background noise. I appreciate you sharing that with me, and I'm going to touch on a lot of those right now. So fear of failure and rejection. Fear in itself is simply a misunderstanding of the unknown. That's all that fear really is. And I don't want to throw a lot of big cliche statements at you, but we're going to really get to some serious stuff here, because do you know what fear of rejection is? It's you having an expectation. The best advice I ever got in my entire life ever came from Tony Robbins. I was talking to Tony and I asked him a piece of advice. I said, Tony, what's the number one piece of advice that you could give me that would not only change my life, but could potentially change the life of every single person I came in contact with for the rest of my life if they were willing to apply it? What is the number one thing you could give me? And he thought about it for a while. And when he came back, he said, Taylor, I believe truly that if you can help people find a way to trade their expectations for appreciation, their entire life will change overnight. He said, what most people don't realize is that 99% of this planet lives about 99% of their existence built in expectation. And what a falsity when 99% of expectations are never met in reality. And so what that really looks like is, and this is, everything I say is never meant to be harsh to you, but when you're approaching a prospect and you feel fear, it's because you have an expectation. That's all. Do you know why the most successful network marketers talk to 1,000 people? It's not because they know more people than you. It's because they've married the process and they've divorced the result. Write that down. Marry the process, divorce the result. You need to fall in love with LifeVantage. You need to fall in love with talking about it. Attract people to you by your personality. You say you're the best teacher. Everyone gives you these awards. Just be that person. I see that in you. I see that you can, I'm sure you're unbelievable with children. I have no doubt about that. But what I want to see from you is I want to see you ooze out that same passion that you have for children about LifeVantage. Not in a salesy way. Let me be clear to you. We are two things in network marketing. We're not salesmen. If you ever feel like you're selling something, in my opinion, you're doing something wrong. You should never feel like you're selling anything here. In my opinion, you should be two things. Number one is we are professional friendship makers. We are professional relationship builders. We can talk to anybody, get to know anybody, take it to real levels, talk about real stuff, be a real friend. And number two, we are professional door openers. Open the door to the opportunity. Yes, no, or indifferent does not matter to you. You guys want to know, Sarah, I'll tell you, you want to know the one catch of network marketing? There's only one. You want to know what it is? I'm going to mess with your mind. There's only one catch. Write this down. I'll say it a couple times. You have to be willing to accept a temporary loss. Keyword temporary. You must be willing to accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. You have to be willing to accept a temporary loss of social esteem from ignorant people. The people out there that do not understand what it is that we do, the people out there that don't understand the blessing of these products that we have, that is not for you to internalize. You have to be willing to accept the temporary loss of their approval. It's a big step. But I promise you, it took me a year of fundamental work to trade my expectations for appreciation. It took me a year of waking up every single day and saying, you know what, today, every time I go through this day, I'm going to do my best to not expect. And then when I found myself expecting something, guess what? I would work to trade it for an appreciation. I would work to trade it every single time. It takes time. But understand that when you're sitting down with a prospect, if you release, like if I told you that, I used to use this one piece of training where I called it the good movie analogy. If I went and saw the best movie of my life tonight, Sarah, say you went and saw the best movie of your life tonight. Like, oh my gosh, you left and you were just like, what did I just watch? What would you do the next day with everyone you came in contact with? You would tell them about that movie. Would you care if they went and saw the movie? No. Marry the process, divorce the result. Love it enough to talk about it without caring if people respond the right way you want them to. Who cares? Fear of rejection. You know what I give for everyone that wants a fear of rejection? Everyone's been grabbing onto this lately, and I don't know. I didn't think it was this powerful. But I give people this challenge. You want a fun challenge? The next 90 days, Sarah? Next 90 days, your goal is to get 100 people to say no to your business. It's called the Go for No Challenge. Get 100 people to say no. The only caveat is they have to see the entire opportunity. It messes with you. All you say is, hey, Sarah, I'm doing this challenge right now. I know I talked to you before, but you never really looked at it. You kind of blew me off. I really am. My goal is to get 100 people to say no to my opportunity in the next 90 days. Everyone I keep talking to keep saying yes. Would you be one of my no's, please? It messes with people. They'll look at it. They'll check it out. But you got to get out of your own head. You got to get out of the space of fear and rejection because, again, it has nothing to do with you. Same way that if someone came and tried to tell you that you were a bad teacher, it wouldn't mess with you. You'd say, I know I'm a good teacher. My students will tell you I'm a good teacher. Their parents will tell you I'm a good teacher. The generations that have come through me for teaching will tell you that I was a blessing in their life. The same way that people on this call would say the same thing about you, your team. Would say the same thing about you. So you got to fall in love with that. You got to fall in love with yourself a little bit. You have to fall in love with, I always say when you're making new relationships, this is another big thing. And a lot of people fear this failure and rejection because a lot of the time they force the value on people. My big thing is when you're building these relationships, I always say LifeVantage is the solution to thousands of different problems. Thousands of problems. But you can't know which problem you're solving until you get to know the person you're talking to well enough to know which problem it's going to solve. You can't get to that place. You just can't. There's not some blanket solve for every single person you're going to talk to. I could talk to Sarah Sanchez, and I guarantee you that her why for LifeVantage is going to be different than yours, Sarah. And Sarah McDermott, I mean, there's a lot of Sarahs on this call. Holy buckets. I didn't realize all of a sudden I'm going to try and find names. There's Kate Curtis. There's not a Sarah. There you go. I guarantee you that her why is different. So you have to find what that solution is with your people. And then when you present it, you're going to get a much higher success rate. But a lot of people put the cart before the horse. A lot of people just want to force value on someone because they see the value. Just because you see the value doesn't mean that someone is woke enough to be in that place in their life yet to receive it. But Sarah, say me and you talk back and forth for a good 6 months and we really get to know each other. We don't just have the news, weather, sports conversations, but we have some soulful conversations. We have some spiritual conversations. I get to know your pain points on a real level, as do you get to know my pain points on a personal level. Another thing I always say is don't ever ask a person to be valuable or vulnerable if you're not willing to have the same vulnerability back with them. Don't ask a person to share details about their life if you're not willing to share those same details back with them. If you want to open that door, it's a two-way door and it's not one way. It swings both ways. So make sure that you do that. A lot of people want to go, what are you missing most? What hurts most in your life? Would you rather have more time freedom or money freedom? All these different, it's like, get vulnerable with someone. How much easier is it to say, in this crazy time of crisis, if you felt, I've really been feeling anxious lately. I have a lot of friends all over the place that are getting laid off. Like, I'm thankful for the position I'm in, but I still feel, do you ever feel like that? With all this craziness going on, do you feel a little anxious every once in a while? When you open the door of vulnerability, what you're going to see, you're going to get back is a lot deeper vulnerability back. When you ask someone the deep questions without sharing any vulnerability on your end, most of the time what you're going to get back is kind of the news, weather, sports answer. Yeah, no, it's crazy times, super crazy. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's like, okay. But it's all about, a lot of what the response you get or the way you feel is based on how you're coming to the conversation. With a very small select group of people that a handful group of people that I talk to on a regular basis and coach, one of the things I talk about a lot is really trading that expectation for appreciation. And what does that look like on a daily basis within their business? Removing that fear center, that fear of anything that they could ever be afraid of, and realizing that if you really believe these products are amazing as that you say they are, if you really stand behind that, if you really believe it, then walk your walk and live your life. Live a life so bold and beautiful and outrageously positive that people are forced to ask you what's going on in your life. Just forced. Don't give them an option. And the great thing for you, sir, is you have the stability right now with a structured job. Jim Rohn would give you, there's an amazing podcast. I want everyone to go listen to it if you get the chance. This isn't a plug for my father, but it just happens to be on his podcast. GoPro with Eric Worre is a podcast that you can subscribe to on your iPhone or Android or whatever podcast app you want to go to. GoPro with Eric Worre. Go back like 20 episodes and look for the one that is How to Be a Successful Network Marketer with Jim Rohn. There's the first time that this training was released in 25 years for free, and it is an unbelievable training. It'll give you some really good insight onto a lot of what you're dealing with when it comes to overcoming rejection and really understanding the process. I hope that helped you, Sarah. I really hope it did. I hope that breaks some stuff down for you. Know that you are wildly valuable. Know that you can do this. Know that you have everything it takes. Just step out of your own way. Just be the exact same loving, soulful individual you are with your children every single day that you teach. Take that same energy out into the world. And I know it's exhausting. I know what you do is one of the most tiresome and unappreciated jobs on the planet. But I will be the first person to tell you that, like Jim Rohn says, you have to be willing to build your fortune in your part-time. Build your future in your part-time. And you have to bring that same energy that I know it's hard, but you have to bring that same energy that you bring into the classroom on a daily basis. You have to bring that out into the world with you. And if you do, I promise you, you release that expectation, you will start to see your life change in ways that you could never imagine. You will start talking to anybody and everybody because it will be about the love that you want to bring, that aloha spirit that you want to embody and you want to pass on to everyone you come in contact with. It will be all of that and above for you, I promise. It's all right on the other side of expectation. When you find yourself in that place of pure appreciation, I promise you, you will find everything you're looking for. So thank you for sharing. Polly Grace, let me find you. Where are you, Polly? Where is she? Everyone keeps chatting.
Over here. I'm over here.
I'm gonna find you. There you are. How are you, Polly? How are you, dear?
It's Polly Grace, and I'm fine. It's 2 o'clock in the morning
Grace.
here.
2 in the morning.
3:30.
God bless your soul. Thank you for being on with us. I appreciate you. I hope you've gotten some value, but do you want to share a little bit? Do you have something that you would like to talk about? What is something that you've been dealing with personally?
Well, first of all, on Wednesday, I'm going to do my second Dutch overview, and I am just scared to death. First of all, just to speak. I mean, I'm scared to death now just to speak to you guys and just say something clearly. But if I do it one-on-one, I can do it. But just do it in a group, yep, that's a problem.
You're doing it right now, though, sister.
I know, but those people
You're doing great.
those people, I know most of them. I love them. I know, we hug.
Totally, I get
Um,
it. So a little bit of a fear of speaking, and that, so just a kind of I mean, would you say that you feel that with like people that you're going and talking to, and people that you want to talk to, you don't have a problem one on one?
no, no problem.
No, but when it comes to doing like an opportunity presentation or something like that for a few people, that's where you kind of get locked up.
Yeah. Do I know what to say? Do I have a story to tell? Things like that.
I'm putting this dog in this kennel. Please give me 1 second, for the love of all things. This is the one time of night where everyone walks their dogs, and this German Shepherd he's all bark and no bite. So sorry about that.
No, that's
So
okay.
yeah, so I think that there's so many great things. I mean, there's so many people on your team, as there is, that can help you with this. I mean, Daisy, I mean, Kristen, there's so many unbelievable support system for you to work through this. But what I'll tell you is this is a time thing. And I want to say one thing to you really clearly, is never judge your race based on someone else's timeline. Never judge your race based on someone else's timeline. Never for 1 second feel like, because people wildly overestimate what they can do in a year, and they wildly underestimate what they can do in 10. What I want you to really think about is, what I ask people all the time is, what if this took you 10 years, Polly Grace? What if this took you a decade? 10 years of just consistent, not like full-time effort, but consistent part-time effort for 10 years to be able to find yourself in the top 1% income earner for the rest of your life. Would it be worth it?
It would totally be worth it. I mean,
For
I
sure.
just have to explain to you. I work in an airplane, so I'm a manager in an airplane. Standing there, I know what to say. I know what to do. With this, it's peer reviewed, all those things. I know that I have to be authentic, and I want to do that. But then if I am, well, not with this group, but if I am with a new group of people who are staring at me, I'm like, clam up. And that's the problem.
I understand. I get it. And that's, you know what, people have public speaking. Some people, when polled, say that public speaking is a greater fear than death. And so, I mean, public speaking is a real deal. And I mean, if I told you that I didn't throw up before every time I got on stage to speak in front of a large generic group, I would be lying to you. I think it's, even for people like myself that have been doing this for a very long time now, grew up in this space. I grew up on a stage. That's been my whole life. It still is nerve-wracking, because I think at the end of the day, the only fear that really comes from the fact that you just have value you want to bring, and you want to be using the right words. You're afraid of not using the right words to express it. So your brain gets so overworked and it's just discombobulated to the point where you just rather say nothing as opposed to saying the wrong thing.
You got me there. Definitely.
And so I understand that. And so one of the things that you can do, this is just a good practice for everyone in life, but one thing that I've done a lot recently with the relationships in my life is I have become a much better question asker and a much better listener. I think that there are so many times that we feel the need to talk unnecessarily, especially when we bring an ulterior motive to the conversation, which for most people on this call is going to be when you call someone up and unbeknownst to them, you pitch them on the opportunity of LifeVantage. The whole time they're just going, oh, really? Did they really do that? Oh, man. Okay. I knew this was a fake call, a fake interest. Okay. If you're going to have a business call, say, hey, I want to talk to you about business. And one great way, Polly Grace, that you can get around the public speaking for a while is utilize your team. Utilize that team of people. If you can get one-on-one with someone and you're great, and you're building that relationship and it's good, you know, I mean, if you're not, then one thing I always say is if you get nervous about talking about the opportunity, because in my opinion, you don't really need to be great at sharing peer-reviewed studies. And you don't really need to be great about knowing all the ingredients of protandim NRF2. And you don't really need to be great about all the science and if you want to be great, that's a great thing about LifeVantage, is you can be an expert on whatever you want to be an expert on, but the only thing you need to be an expert on to be successful here is personal development. That's it.
I mean, I do want to do it because I'm the first in my team in the Netherlands. So I get a lot of help, but I need to do it in Dutch. If it would be in English, of course, but I need to do it in Dutch. I really
Yeah,
feel
but there's a ton of
I need to
resources
do.
for you. There's a ton
Yeah.
of resources for you. I mean, I don't know if you've been communicating with Stephen Irvin, who's the field development director over Europe. You also have, what's her name? Gina? I can't remember. Our new GM that we have over Europe. You probably know Lisa. Is our new general manager over Europe. So I can get you plugged in. Polly Grace, do me a favor. My email is tworre@lifevantage.com. Everyone feel free to write that down if you want to. My email is tworre@lifevantage.com. For everyone else, if I can ever be a blessing in your life, never hesitate to reach out to me. Polly Grace, I want you to do me a favor specifically. I want you to reach out to me via email, reference the conversation that we had here, and I'm going to forward that message to Liza and to Stephen Irving and have them get you connected with all the Dutch speakers so that you can have all the connections you need to be able to get the material you need in the language that you need it in. We also have other leaders that speak Dutch that can help you do some presentation calls as well. So we'll get on that for you, all right, sister? I want you to be winning. I want you to know that you have the resources behind you. And I want you to be able to take the time on your journey to be able to develop those skills. That's what I want you to do. I want you to understand that this is your race, and that part of learning this is going through the fear of it, busting through that fear. That's part of this.
You know,
there's got to be that. If there's no fear, like if you're not growing, you're dying. And so the growing, there's a reason why when we're children, they call it, you're going through growing pains. You're going through those growing pains because your body is growing and you're feeling the pain of it. You got to feel that too. But let me tell you, there's no opportunity that is not attached to an obstacle. There is no one that has ever been made. Yeah, there's no one that's ever been made great on this planet ever that has ever gotten there without overcoming insurmountable obstacles. It just doesn't happen. So you got this. You're just facing your obstacle right now, sister. Know that you got this.
Yeah. The fact that I said, choose me, that was one big obstacle.
It was a big deal. That's what I'm saying.
So
and now we're chatting. And I appreciate you for sharing. And you'll see, go read all the chats in the comment. So much love and support for Polly Grace, which is so much deserving. I appreciate you sharing a little bit because I know that there are probably people out there that are struggling with public speaking as well. And so if anyone else is feeling that fear, or you're in an area with a language barrier or something like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I can get you connected with whoever you need to be connected to make sure you have the resources in the language that you need to be able to do your opportunity meetings. Polly Grace, I appreciate you sharing, and I hope that you just have a beautiful rest of your evening and get some rest for crying out loud, almost 3 o'clock in the morning. But I'm going to do just one more here. I know that we're probably going a little over on time. Kristen, you can cut me off if you want me to. But I'm going to keep going and just do one more. And I'm going to do, I had some names written down. I think it was Sarah McDiarmid. Is that what it was? McDiarmid. I probably said it wrong. Sarah, what's up, sister?
Hi, Taylor.
How are you?
I'm good. Oh gosh.
Good.
Okay, here we go.
Are you ready? Let's talk. Let's talk. What are you dealing with? Talk to me.
I have to say, what Sarah and Polly Grace said was very much up there. But I guess another fear of mine has to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
Being, here you go. Just being there for my kids. I have 4, and being able to show them that their mom can succeed. And between, my other jobs and whatever, I would be a stay-at-home mom, so then I go back to work and then I'm stay-at-home mom. Currently I'm doing this and that, but it's hard because I don't want to put them on the back burner, but I want to succeed at this as well.
Of course you do. I appreciate you saying that, because I'm sure that there are a lot of people on this call that are dealing with the exact same thing.
And
what I want to tell you, go ahead.
I did watch, your father has been an inspiration to me in this business. And I loved hearing what he had to say about having children in this business and, doing that little bit of sacrifice and making them a part of it. So I'm trying.
Yeah, so I get the sacrifice piece of it. Me and my dad might have a little bit different take on the
Okay,
sacrifice of what was worth it, as far as me living through the childhood and him being the parent making the sacrifice. But I'll tell you what, I think that we learn, right? I think that every generation is going to learn to be better. I'll tell you that our home is a home of professional network marketers. My girlfriend, who's expecting our child right now, we have our daughter that's going to be here September 10th. This will be our 6th child together between the two of us. And so we've got a full house. And she's a professional network marketer with another network marketing company. She's in the top 20 income earners with her company. And she's an unbelievable powerhouse in her own right. Amazing leader. And so we deal with a lot of the same things. And one thing that I would recommend, especially when getting started, is really, and you've heard this before, but including your family. Not just including them and saying, hey, I'm doing this, but including them with a reward system, right? So, mom is really trying to get this goal set this month. And so for 1 hour out of the night, I'm going to be back here. The rest of the time, I'm going to be with you guys. I'm going to be hanging. We're going to do this stuff, but 1 hour of the night. And then at the end of this month, if mom hits her goal, then we're all going out to get ice cream, or we're all going out to do something. If you go back and watch the My Life Venture interview, the Recognition Friday interview I just did. I don't know if you've seen that series I just started, Recognition Fridays. It's on the Independent Distributor Life Vantage page. Great series. I think it's going to bring a lot of value. But there was a great interview I did with, who was it with? Was it Sam and Ray Allen? I think it was Sam and Ray Allen talking about their My Life Venture. And they said, look, our children were a part of that entire journey. They were asking us every day, like, how close are we to the Jeep? Like, are we getting the Jeep? They made it real for them. They went and test drove the Jeep with the kids. So whatever it is, maybe you do a vision board with your kids. And you sit down and you say, what are some of the things that you kids want to do? What are some of your dreams? And let's put those on a vision board, and then let's work towards them. And that way, when you're out there doing your calls, it's not a sacrifice. They're saying, no, mom, go do those things. Because if it leads to us doing our vision board, then yeah, go do those things. But I believe it's all about balance. I think that family balance is so important. I think that life and family balance, Jennifer and I take designed and designated time with the children every single day. It is important for us. It's a priority for us. But that doesn't mean that, I'm going to be I have another call right after this for another team training for Marilee Marisich's team. And so, I'll be going until 10:30 tonight on calls. But we've talked about that as a family. We've talked about that. And that's why we had time beforehand, and we're going to have time tomorrow morning. So we just talk through everything. And I think that's where a lot of people get in issues is they get so inside their head and in their business, and they just want everyone to kind of keep up with them and just kind of say, well, I'm doing what I got to do. And no one really understands what it is that you're doing. That's a big piece. Having the kids be a part of it is really fun once they get on board, once they feel that vision board help, once they see that vision of what you're going towards. And maybe your goal isn't Pro 10. Maybe your goal is just $5,000 to $7,000 a month. Maybe you just want to get to Pro 6. And that's like your dream is just to be sitting at that $5,000 to $7,000 a month in disposable discretionary income every month to be able to pay the extra stuff you want for your family to go on that vacation every year, or pay off the house faster, whatever it might be. Your goals are your goals. That's what I say. Never pigeonhole. I'm not going to talk to you like your dreams are someone else's dreams. But whatever those are for you, get specific with them, and then outline them with your kids and have a realistic vision of what the timetable for that, and create fun little barriers. Like, what if every time you brought on a new customer, all the kids got ice cream? What if every time you brought on a new distributor, all the kids got to go to the store with $20 and they all got to go get a new toy? Like, think about like, that's a fast start bonus. Say you get a platinum pack, that's like $400 in a fast start bonus. What if you took that $400 for every platinum pack and you put it in your children? So that way there's like a piece in it. And I'm not saying, overly spoil them or whatever. I mean, but just create some kind of a system that comes into play where they have some stake in the game. So when you're doing your calls and you're working, they're like, all right, you go do those. Bring on a customer, mommy. You got it. Go get some more distributors, mommy. You got this. Because then it becomes fun. Then you feel like you have that. I saw this amazing post that said, I thought about quitting, and then I saw who was watching. You get that mentality of, they're watching me for the right reasons. They're not watching me for the wrong reasons. And as parents, we feel that all the time. It's a big struggle. I've dealt with it most of my life. Are my kids watching me for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? Are they watching me and like saying like, oh, dad's mad, or dad's frustrated, or he's stressed out, or he's anxiety, he's got a, like, are they embodying that, or are they watching me for the right reasons? They say dad's a goal-getter. When dad says something, he goes and gets it. Dad's got my back. Dad talks to me. Dad knows that he's in this with me, that we're in this together, that we're a team. I think that's the biggest thing that you can do is just to really understand that priorities are priorities, and that, again, not to run your race based on anyone else's timeline. That if this is slower for you, and like I said before, if it takes 10 years, what if it took 10 years? Would it be worth it? Yep. So let that time play out a little bit, and just really, because you'll see, the funny thing is, once the family gets involved, you'll see them pushing you to go do more calls. You'll see them saying, hey, mom, no, it's fine. Go to that event. Go do that training. Mom's got 4 customers going to that training. That means that we are getting ice cream every day this week. Like, it can be fun, And so I turn everything into fun. That is my life. My life is built around everything I want to do. I want to bring energy, positivity, and happiness to it. And so I hope that helped a little bit, sir. I appreciate you sharing. And for everyone that shared, I really appreciate you. If there's something that I didn't touch on, feel free. That it's the great thing about being Taylor Worre. There's only one of me on the planet. So I'm very easy to find on any social media platform. Send me a message on Facebook. Send me a message to my email that I gave you. If there's ever anything I didn't touch that you want me to touch on, I would be happy to either call you, send you a message, email, voicemail, a voice memo, whatever it might be. But thank you guys so much for taking the time. I know that this, for some of you, this is the middle of the night. For others of you, this is just getting to be dinner time here. But I appreciate you very much. And Kristen, thank you for inviting me on. And Daisy and everyone, you guys are amazing. I love this team. And I just, can't wait till we're all able to be back together again and hanging out sometime soon. But until next time, thank you so much, Kristen, for having me on.
Thank you so much, Taylor. Like, can we get a round of applause for Taylor? We just love you. You have brought so much value to us. I'm getting all these side texts. Thank you so, so much. I'm so grateful. And I just wanted to say that, you guys, I am so afraid to talk on these. Like, do you wonder why my face is so shiny? It's because I'm sweating. So public speaking, I absolutely can't stand, but it's really about getting out of our comfort zone. And I know you have to go, Taylor, but I just wanted to say, Sarah McDermott, you are an inspiration to me. The way that your children are watching you, I know that you're involving them, and I am learning from you by that. Like, literally, the personal growth that you're doing is absolutely, I've seen it in your children's eyes. And Polly Grace, you are the most eloquent, lovely speaker. And I'm always amazed by your poise. And the fact that you get on at 2 a.m, like, blows my mind. I'm so inspired by you. And Sarah Redican, she's been a friend of mine forever. She's my sister's in Roller. We're very close. And girl, you are so loved. You are so loved. We would not be here without you. And I know that we've talked about your childhood fears and you know, all your childhood stuff, but you are so loved. And exactly what Taylor said, please, how you approach teaching and how we know that you're such a good teacher, like just treat it like that. And I know you will blow up. Like you literally, like I am so inspired by you on the daily, and we all are. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. And thank you so much again, Taylor. Thank you all for hopping on, and have a wonderful evening, and aloha.
Thank you guys. Bye for now.